Hey Grace House Churches, hopefully you have enjoyed dinner and now we can have a conversation about Daniel chapter 7. So for the first 6 chapters of Daniel, we follow the 4 Hebrew boys trying not to assimilate to Babylon. Chapter 7, the story changes. The language changes from Aramaic to Hebrew. The story changes from narrative to apocalyptic literature. So apocalyptic literature is like future events, visions, symbolic, telling us about the end times. And so in this particular passage, the chapter 7 and chapter 8 is like 2 visions. One is like a drone shot over this, and the other one's like a zoomed in shot. So in chapter 7, you have 4 beasts coming out of the sea, and they symbolically are, I shouldn't say symbolically, they're similar to the vision Nebuchadnezzar has. Empires coming in sequence. So the first one is Babylon, second one is the Medo-Persian Empire, third is Greece, and the fourth is Rome. Then in chapter 8, we zoom in on the Medo-Persian Empire and the Greek Empire. And in this, you have beast, and then what's also known as the Antichrist. It's a figure, he's called the Little Horn, chapter 7 and 8, that comes up out of these empires, and it represents this anti-God figure who blasphemes God and is arrogant. And so these things are instituted in chapter 7 and 8. But in the middle of both of these visions, Daniel sees it's almost like he checks out of the empire vision, and he moves into a heavenly throne room, where we get a picture of someone called the Ancient of Days sitting on a throne, judging everyone, ruling over everything. And then a figure called the Son of Man coming on the clouds, entering into the Ancient of Days' presence, and not being judged, but rather being honored and given glory and power and dominion over all nations. And so that's a picture that's supposed to give us hope that there's a day coming where the Ancient of Days will rule, and his peace and his justice will come through someone called the Son of Man. Now, fast forward to the New Testament, we have the privilege of being on the other side. And in the book of Matthew, Jesus refers to himself not as Savior, Lord, Messiah, angel. He calls himself the Son of Man 30 times. And in the last night before he dies, he's on trial. And when the Sanhedrin and the high priest are telling him, tell us who you are, are you claiming to be God? Jesus quotes Daniel chapter 7. He says, you're going to see the Son of Man coming on the clouds and exalted to the right hand of God. And so Jesus aligns himself with the Son of Man in Daniel chapter 7, which means he's telling the Sanhedrin and the high priest that they are like the beast, that they are like the Antichrist. And that when they judge him, he's actually going to judge them. When they defeat him, he's actually going to defeat them. He's telling them, you guys are ushering in the prophecy of Daniel chapter 7. And so that's the story. And what that does for us is it's an invitation. An invitation to hope, an invitation to peace, invitation to relax through the gift of lifting your eyes from the chaos of this world to the clarity of the heavenly throne room. There will always be chaos in the world. There will always be something that an empire's power hungry or fighting for something. There's always going to be a clash of power. But we've got to lift our eyes to the throne room to recognize that because of Jesus, we have the hope of the throne room on the way. And when we get into the throne room, we won't be judged, we'll be honored because of what Christ has achieved for us. And so, church, my hope is not that we get specific on this country being that or this country being that. Rather, it's just taking a breath and saying, in the middle of chaos, don't we need clarity? Don't we need peace? We can find that in Daniel chapter 7. So I look forward to the conversation we're going to have around this, and I hope that you guys will be kind to each other and try not to be too weird and too specific, but also be vulnerable and be honest about how the chaos of the world is affecting your heart and how you need the clarity of the throne room for your own healing and your own joy.